Okay, so let me do this. This is the package, everybody. Okay, let me.
Oof, that looks low.
Should be an easy open because it's, you know, a bubble wrap. Oh, I see. Okay, it's a bubble wrap envelope. Ah, now he put 2 pieces of masonite.
Oh.
See, this is from Byron Ham, and he usually puts 1 piece. And this time it's 2. So good for that. That's the right way to do it. And you know what? Maybe I can just undo. Yeah, rather than tearing open. Give me a sec, everybody. If you want to see what I'm doing, it's not super exciting. I'm just gonna undo this, and then so he doesn't seal all the edges. He only puts enough tape to make it stay together. The 2 pieces stay together. I always seal the complete edges myself. I think that's the better way to do things, everyone. If you know, for more safety's sake, if this should ever get, you know, if this ever gets shredded to pieces, which it easily could, right? And this wood is exposed and it's raining, well, water is going to get in anywhere you see here, right? Any pieces on the edges that are not taped up. So always best to tape the whole thing up. But I'm certain that Byron would have put the art inside some bag. At least I assume so. Yes, there's a bag. Okay. All right. So here we go. It's all taped down to the board with some, what do you call this tape? Painter's tape?
Painter's tape, yeah.
Yeah. It's like masking tape. It's just with colored, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Easier to peel off.
Yeah. Okay, so that's piece number 2. Piece number 3. And then piece number 4. They're back to back, I see. Let me dump this out of the way. Okay.
Is that a Trinity page?
Huh?
Is that a Trinity page? I see 2 of the characters. That looks pretty good so far.
Okay, I'm going to show you. Let's see. Okay, so I know there's a lot of glare, everyone. You know what? I don't like when people have all the glare, so might as well go all out. Take it out of the bag so that we don't have to worry about that. All right. There we go. Okay, so Supergirl, you see the Trinity.
Yep.
Lying unconscious on the ground, and Supergirl is racing up into space. Oh, they're already out in space. She's racing off for one last confrontation with the Anti-Monitor.
Oh.
So this is the scene in Crisis number 7 where she makes her last stand before she ultimately gets severely injured by the Anti-Monitor and ultimately dies in Superman's arms.
I like how the heavy inking on the cape sort of brings her to the front.
Yes, exactly. So as those of you who are not familiar with the art style might not be able to tell, this is by Tom Grummett, pencils and inks. Although, here we go. Let me see if I can get a straight kind of focused piece. That's about as much as the camera will focus, unfortunately. Some of you may remember several shows ago, we had been talking about, we brought up the topic, and I think it might have been one of the episodes, Jason, where you were with me. It was maybe one of those 101, Comic Art 101 episodes, or maybe it was just one of those moments where we went off the cuff and started going off on a tangent. But we were talking about, I guess, blue lines and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then the decisions, to buy, do you buy the inks only, or do, some people just like the pencils?
Right.
And I was, I was saying that I happened to be in the middle of a potential decision to make a transaction to get a piece where I don't know whether to get the pencils or the inks or both.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Right. And the crazy thing about it for me was that the decision was made more difficult because the art was by the same artist. So usually when it's on pencil, on two boards, because this is on two boards. So here, unfortunately, the light's not great.
Yep.
But
pencils, though, right?
Here are the pencils, and it's a cover, Tariq. Thank you, but it's a cover. Yeah. So these are the pencils, and these are the inks, And so I struggled because I was like, well, I don't need both,
Sure you do.
And I don't. And in the past, I've purchased, typically when it's done like this, I've typically purchased just the page of inks because I prefer the finished art.
Mm-hmm.
But this made it hard because it's the same artist, right?
Right.
So I'm thinking, like, why do it that way? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I'll pay the money, I'll pay whatever you're asking, but I would rather have this on one board.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just the classic way, the historic way of doing it.
Did he have an explanation of why he broke it up like that?
No, and I didn't want to ask him because in my mind, the only thing I could think of didn't reflect well on him. Right? Like, think about it. Let me ask you, Jason, since we're talking about this, what reason, or reasons, plural, could you come up with, right? Could you come up with for one artist, not two, not a penciler or inker, one artist who is going to be both the penciler and the inker? Why would they do it on two boards? Can you give me some reasons, or even one?
Either the publisher's paying him the page rate as an inker and the page rate as a penciler, or when he goes
I can tell you right off the bat, of course they're going to do that. They have to. Yeah. That no matter if they do it on one board or two boards, they're going to get paid for both inking and penciling, of course.
And then when he goes to sell it, he gets twice the money.
Okay, so I don't know if it's twice because the price.
Yeah, right. But I mean, he gets two.
I know what you mean. Yes,
separate sales. Yeah, two separate sales.
Right. It might. Exactly. It could. You're probably thinking, okay, maybe if it's on one board, maybe I get this price, but with two of them together, maybe I could get an extra 50% or whatever it is. Right. That's what I'm thinking. Now, Chuck is in the house. What up, Chuck? He didn't want to mess it up. See, that's the funny thing is, Chuck, is that I've heard that reasoning. In fact, I've heard that reasoning from a good friend of mine who I just noticed is here and wants to take it off my hand. And I'm so happy you're here, Mickey. Of all days, haven't seen you in the last couple of weeks. And I was sad about that because I showed art that I sold you years ago and that you still own. So I was sad that you weren't here to see that. But Mickey told me a story about somebody. He mentioned it the last time he was here on the show, but he didn't want to mention the artist, and that's fine. But he was telling me that an artist told him that, like what you said, Chuck, it's just that this way, in case I screwed up when inking it, then I can do it all over again. But I don't buy that because, look, Tom's a veteran of like 30 whatever years. Okay. Right. He doesn't have a lack of confidence, okay, that he's going to screw it up. He might screw it up, whatever. And any little screw up he might make, he could white it out, whatever. He would never screw it up so badly that he would need to feel like, shit, I got to start this all over again.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I don't buy that as a reason. I don't buy that. So whatever. Anyways, point being, that while it's lovely for me to be able to study the pencils and pour over them, I do love it. I would be, see with this, I would be more than happy to just have the scan of the pencils, right? I can study the pencils and look at them anytime I want to through the scan. And just know that the pencils and inks are all like this on one board. There you go, Mickey. Woo! I finally got a Supergirl that you don't have. Mickey's a big Supergirl guy, so it's hard to get Supergirl stuff without him getting in the way, you know? Okay. Everybody, let me really, I was going to do an opening because he sent me this, but we're running late. I don't want to run late. So these are the comics, okay? So he sent me a couple of comics to go with the art. But because I figured we'd probably go late, what I did do in advance, because I knew what I was getting, I can show you guys what the comics look like because I turned them into a slide, okay? There were 6 different variants, and these were exclusive promotional reprints of Crisis 7, sold exclusively from Fan Expo Toronto, the one that I mentioned I had gone to in late August. And so here it is. There you go. So these are two of the different variants. So you got the one on the left, which obviously is you know, what you saw that I showed you of the artwork, how it's drawn. And then you got that other variant, which is really cool because it's, you know, the main Supergirl image from Tom's cover blasting out of the original Crisis 7 cover. So I think that's pretty fun. Not sure which are the versions that I got sent, but I guess after the show I'll find out when I open it up. But there you go.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Really fun. Oh, and here I also made a scan of this in case you guys wanted to see one more time, maybe a little bit better what it looks like, pencils and inks. So there you go. Fun, fun, fun in the sun. And here we go. Okay. Let me. Okay, then that may be why the inks are separate.
For the different variants, for the different cover variants, to ink backgrounds differently?
No.
No.
No, that wouldn't change anything. No. Nice try, Marcus. But okay, use the different background. No, but it's not a different background, right? The one on the left is exactly what's drawn. And then all they do is they digitally cut out the Supergirl image and superimpose it on top of the original Crisis 7 cover. So that's all they did there, you know. That has nothing to do with pencils and inks on a different board. So, but yeah, so there you go, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that.